Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a suspect from Houston is facing human smuggling charges in Goliad County. A Boeing aircraft is under investigation once again after another mid-air scare. We hear from passengers this evening, and we take a look at the solar eclipse in the Crossroads.
Well, that's if you got to see the eclipse because of the cloud deck. The cloud deck is going to be with us one more day, and then tomorrow night we've got some stormy weather rolling through here. I'm talking thunder and lightning and all that stuff. We'll be talking about that coming up in just a few minutes.
And the West Warriors bounce back nicely, trying to reach a playoff spot. Hear from them in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia has the night off. An 18-year-old suspect was arrested by Victoria police this afternoon. Aldrich Littles faces 4 charges, including deadly conduct, discharge of a firearm. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $50,000 bond. Victoria police arrested a suspect over the week. 64-year-old Jerry Cordova is charged with burglary of a home. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $50,000 bond. A suspect from Houston was arrested in Goliad County over the weekend. 59-year-old Mario Escamilla is charged with 2 counts of smuggling of persons under 18 years of age and 4 counts of human smuggling. Escamilla was arrested by the Houston Police Department on Goliad County warrants. This arrest is part of a large-scale investigation into a smuggling organization operating between the Rio Grande Valley and the Houston area. Escamilla is in the Goliad County Jail in lieu of $150,000 bond. A suspect from Houston was arrested in Wharton County on charges from Victoria. 43-year-old Terry Ashley faces 3 charges, including online solicitation of a minor under 14. Ashley is in the Wharton County Jail. No bond is set. The solar eclipse hit the USA today, but it was hard to see in the Crossroads due to all the clouds. Sunrise meteorologist Parker Cox traveled to Cuero to see the eclipse with some local elementary students. Here's what he saw.
I'm here at Hunt Elementary School in Cuero, and we're here with the Hunt Elementary School meteorology program. We're going to try and see that eclipse today, but it's raining and super cloudy, so let's see what they think.
Hey, Hunt Elementary Meteorology Club, how y'all doing today? Good, good. Even though it's cloudy, we're kind of a little bit disappointed about that, but that's not going to hamper our spirits. We're going to hopefully see at least getting significantly darker before too much longer. Y'all excited about that? To kind of see a little bit of...
What's going to happen this time is in about 22 minutes now, it's going to block up the sun, and it'll probably turn a little bit darker out here. Well, it'll like slowly move out ahead of it, so it will be gone at that point. That's the moon. This is it's a constellation now.
Is it about to cover?
So there's the sun and there's the moon. You can see it's about to fully come right in front. Well, the eclipse just passed here in Cuero, and it lasted all of 4.5 minutes. And in that 4.5 minutes, it got quite dark out here. In fact, it looked almost like nighttime. And in that 4.5 minutes, it got so dark that the automatic street lights here in the parking lot had turned on. And actually, we got quite fortunate here in Cuero. We had a few breaks in the clouds, and the students here got a slight glimpse of that eclipse. For 25 News Now, I'm meteorologist Parker Cox.
Parker, thank you. With clouds threatening to block the view of Monday's eclipse in certain areas, some people opted to go above the clouds. They boarded special Path of Totality flights offered by commercial airlines. The flights were from Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin. The trip included special turns in totality for passengers to see the eclipse's so-called diamond ring out of the plane's 14-inch windows. As of Monday morning, the flight was nearly sold out with only main, cabin aisle, and middle seats available at a cost of $950. That's the view from that flight. And here's your viewer poll this evening. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. Here's the question. Did you catch the solar eclipse? Yes, no, or you didn't look up, but 38% say yes. 62% say no. We thank you for voting, and we want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we'll have an update on 25 News Now at 10. A member of 25 News Now captured this picture in Mason. That's in the Hill Country. Mason, like many other cities in the Hill Country, were in the path of totality, and many tourists went there. That's what I understand. And now let's take a first look at your forecast. Here's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Some clouds got in the way of our viewing. I'm not complaining, Mac, just reporting.
But that's what we expected. And we expected the clouds, and they showed up, and we didn't get as brilliant. But, you know, for the folks that were out on the west, you know, from Del Rio all the way to Dallas, they did get a good view. I got probably 20 pictures from friends who sent that in. Now tomorrow things get complicated for us. This area of low pressure is going to come in, and by tomorrow night we could be looking at some thunder and lightning. We'll be talking more about that in just a minute. Back to you, Don.
Mac, thank you. In February, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sued Denton ISD for illegal electioneering, arguing that staff members' emails constitute political advertising and violate state law. The Texas Tribune now reports 2 Denton ISD elementary school teachers are now indicted. A married couple, Lindsay and Jesus Lujan, are accused of using their school email accounts to urge staff to vote for certain political candidates in the March Republican primary election. A Southwest Airlines flight was in the air only minutes Sunday before the pilot had to declare an emergency. Shortly after takeoff, passengers started seeing a part from the plane break away.
There's a lot of, but
not what you want to hear when you've just taken off in an airplane, and not what you want to see. The cover flying off the engine. This was on a Southwest Airlines jet shortly after takeoff from Denver Sunday.
Okay.
The pilot circled back to Denver safely for an emergency landing. Southwest apologized to passengers for the delay in a statement, adding that safety is their highest priority and their maintenance teams are reviewing the aircraft. The FAA is also investigating how the engine's cover, called a cowling, came loose and hit the wing flap.
There are 3 cowling latches that hold that cowling in place. So it appears that either one of those was not left latched properly, or the mechanical piece itself failed.
Aviation safety analyst David Susi says a part like that should undergo at least 3 visual checks pre-flight, the first 2 conducted by ground crew maintenance.
But the last line of defense is the pre-flight inspection. The pilot is supposed to do the walk around before each flight and check those latches.
The investigation into the exact cause continues. The passengers aboard the Denver flight were all eventually rerouted to their destination of Houston, with quite a story to tell.
it was a little spicy, but we're all okay.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
On Tuesday, Jennifer and James Crumley will be sentenced for their roles in their son's 2021 mass shooting. Ethan Crumley pleaded guilty to killing 4 classmates and injuring 7 others at Oxford High School in Michigan. He's serving a life sentence without parole. Prosecutors are asking the judge to sentence each parent to 10 to 15 years in prison. Attorneys for the husband and wife have asked that the parents be sentenced to less than 5 years each. Security video has gone viral showing a scary incident in Washington State last week when a man confronted a thief who was breaking into his truck. Smith chased down and tackled the thief as he tried to get back to a car waiting in the street. That's when the incident turned very dangerous. The person behind the wheel backed up and then plowed into Smith, who ended up on the hood as the car slammed into his truck in his own driveway. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office police said a juvenile has been arrested and the case is ongoing. The Republican Party of Goliad County is hosting a runoff forum for the GOP State Representative District 30 runoff between former Victoria Mayor Jeff Bouknight and former Jackson County Sheriff A.J. Louderback. The event is Tuesday night at 6:30 at the Grace Temple Event Center, 745 East Pearl Street in Goliad. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Stay with us. We go over Donald Trump's campaign strategy for the upcoming election. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, his comments on abortion. Also ahead, the deadline for taxes is next Monday. What you need to know if you're planning on filing an extension. Donald Trump's net worth has dropped by $2 billion since Truth Social went public last month. Monday, shares of Trump Media and Technology Group dropped by another 10%. About a third of the company's stock value has been wiped out since it peaked last month. The sell-off shrank Trump's stake in the company to just under $3 billion. That's down from a peak of over $5 billion the day after the company went public. Donald Trump announced today abortion rights should be left to the states. Trump's announcement was made in a video posted to social media, offering his clearest stance yet on one of America's most delicate and contentious political issues.
We have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint.
In a video posted to his Truth Social account, former President Donald Trump seeming to punt on the issue of abortion, saying after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, abortion rights should now be left to the states.
Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people.
Trump did not indicate the number of weeks during a pregnancy at which he thinks it would be appropriate to ban an abortion, but he did reiterate his support for certain exceptions, such as victims of rape and incest or when a mother's life is in danger. President Joe Biden attacking Trump's abortion message, accusing the former president of lying and saying in part, Trump is scrambling. He's worried that since he's the one responsible for overturning Roe, the voters will hold him accountable in 2024. Well, I have news for Donald. They will. Trump's video also getting immediate backlash from the leading anti-abortion group Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America, writing in part, "We are deeply disappointed in President Trump's position. Unborn children and their mothers deserve national protections and national advocacy." Democrats also criticizing Trump's latest attempt to clarify his stance.
He shouldn't duck this issue. This is an important one for the American public.
After appointing 3 conservatives to the Supreme Court, Democrats have tried to tie Trump to a wave of anti-abortion laws passed since Roe was overturned in 2022. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
President Biden was in Wisconsin Monday to announce the latest round of student loan relief. The president speaking in Madison, home to the University of Wisconsin, less than a week after the state's primary vote. The plan, which is set to ease student loan debt for more than 30 million borrowers, includes canceling up to $20,000 in interest for borrowers who have seen their balance grow past its original amount due to unpaid interest. Tax day is a week away. If you have not filed your 2023 taxes yet, time is running out. Here's a breakdown of what those last-minute filers need to file on time and avoid any penalties.
Time is running out to file your 2023 taxes. The deadline is Monday, April 15th. Everyone's taxes look different, but the most common documents you'll likely need to file are a W-2, That's your official wage and tax statement, which you should have received from your employer. A 1099, which are given by independent contractors to people like business owners, or if you've earned any interest from stocks or investments and or received any dividends. And a 1098 form, if you have a mortgage or student loan interest. The IRS offers tools to help you navigate through the filing process, and tax software like TurboTax and H&R Block can help you as well.
It's going to guide you through and make those calculations.
While it seems like a lengthy process, it can help deliver you a nice return this year. According to the IRS, the average direct deposit return is $3,209.
The fastest way to get your refund is to electronically file and to receive that refund through a direct deposit.
Experts also say the worst thing you could do is not file at all.
One of those mistakes that we see people make is they just get scared. And so then they put it aside and they say, no, I don't want to deal with it at all, which is about the worst thing you can do.
And if you really need more time, anyone can file for an extension, but you must do that by April 15th. That will give you until October 15th to file. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Now, to request a tax extension, you'll need to file a 4868 form, which you can find on the IRS website, irs.gov. One of Dallas's top attractions hosted a viewing event allowing visitors to take in the eclipse and witness how animals react to the celestial event. The zoo offered educational hands-on activities for children, including an ethogram to document observed animal behaviors. This special event included eclipse-themed foods and televisions across the park showing NASA's live broadcast of the total solar eclipse.
Yes, and of course the cloud deck was, messing with us, so it's just the way it worked out. But the areas that were in totality really got a lot better viewing than even I thought. So today we're looking at 77 as a current temperature. We managed to get up to 79, which is real close to our average of 80 this time of year. I'm not ready for the 90s as temperatures, but they're going to be around here pretty soon. Now, coming up, what we're going to be talking about tomorrow night when we may have some thunder and lightning around here. We'll be talking about that after this. Well, good evening, everyone. Let's talk a little bit more about the eclipse. Here's a satellite time lapse during the day. You see that big blob sort of going over us? That's right there. That's the obscuration of the sun by the moon. So all of a sudden we were in eclipse. We do have one photograph which is quite artsy, I would say, thanks to Mr. Nick Munoz, who sent this in from Georgetown, and that's just north of Austin. So that whole area where the totality was really did get better conditions than we were even thinking, because the forecast was really having a tough time with this. Now, as you can see, the cloud deck over our area, we actually get a few light showers, but the real big stuff is now in East Texas, as you see right about there. But it's back here where tomorrow is going to be rather interesting as, we start looking forward. We have an area of low pressure coming out of here. that is going to start really messing with Texas. Look at this. Already severe thunderstorm warnings for the Panhandle. Already we're having severe weather out of this system that's rolling up through East Texas. There's Huntsville, and then you can see Crockett all the way up there, but that's rolling up. The one on the west is going to be rolling this way, and let me show you. This is kind of a 3D view. It'll show you how tall the storms are. And remember, the taller the storm, the stronger the possibilities of it having some severe weather under it. And when we get to purple tops, that's probably hail falling, and that's a problem we're going to have tomorrow night right here in the Crossroads. So 82 is our high, but here's the severe weather outlook. And you can see that from Austin to maybe Corsicana out to Lufkin, Longview, they're going to be under the gun for a third level, level 3 of severe weather possibility. Now we're just south of it, but some of you in, the I-10 corridor, Gonzales, Columbus, all the way to Hallettsville, Welder, did I miss anybody? Oh, and the Buc-ee's, they're all going to have possibility of getting some rough stuff. This is tomorrow night, okay? So we start off the day soupy, cloudy, kind of foggy as well, kind of like today, but then by afternoon it's going to get interesting. Here's a time lapse of that. Here's a future. We're looking at 5 and 9 a.m. on Tuesday. You can see how we have some stormy weather up in Dallas, down along I-35, and you think, oh, that missed us, right? No, we've got 3 p.m. on Tuesday there, and you can see how along Austin 35, another big line of storms begins to develop, and this one goes all the way down into northern Mexico. This is the one that's most likely to affect our area. Boom, right there. So it's overnight, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. It's going to be thunder bumpers, and we may have some hail out of this. And you have some, pets outside, you just want to give them some shelter, because that's going to be a very rough evening as it gets into East Texas. You see right about there. But by Wednesday morning, it all clears away. And then we pick up that northwest wind, and then all of a sudden we dry up, and we've got some fairly nice conditions after that. Here is the low. It's coming out of the southwest. It's rolling over Oklahoma rather, then Arkansas, but it's that front that's going to trigger all that big activity. So let's take a look at what to expect tomorrow in the Port Lavaca area. Cloudy to a little bit of sun, getting up into the 80s, and then in Cuero, we're looking for isolated thunder showers, sunny, and all the stuff I'm talking about is after 6 p.m. tomorrow night. So I've had it as an action day, an alert day, because everybody's going to be affected by the stormy weather overnight. The good news is by Wednesday morning, it all pulls away, and the rest of the week looking fairly dry. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Please scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Don.
Zach, thank you. And Zach Brown has your sports.
Thank you, Don. The West Warriors have been proving people wrong this year, and after upsetting the East Titans, still very much alive and in the hunt here from their winning pitcher coming up in sports. We are entering the home stretch for baseball season, and a pleasant surprise this year has been the West Warriors. After losing the first game of the two-game set to East, they knew they pretty much had to get the win to keep those postseason hopes alive, and they did just that. 5 runs in the first inning set up pitcher Dominic Martinez nicely. The Warriors have 1 game left against King and 2 against Miller. They can't get too caught up in past games as their push for the playoffs continue.
You know, it was huge for us just to come back and win like that. You know, my team just playing behind me. You know, I've been pitching good all year. Just to have them play behind me for once and for all and to go against our rival felt pretty good. We're just hoping for the best against other people whenever we go through. Hopefully we go through King. We have a pretty good game Wednesday at Cabness, and hopefully we pull through.
That game against King will be this Wednesday. It's a zone crossover game. They need to get this win. Last night, the Astros got the win 3-1 over the Texas Rangers, and it was another magnificent outing from pitcher Ronel Blanco, who capped off a great week. He had the no-hitter against Toronto, and last night carried another no-hitter into the 6th inning, and because of those 2 outings, he has been named the American League Player of the Week. Hitters are only batting .022 off of him, and he has had 11 strikeouts and, of course, did not allow a single run in his 15 innings pitched. He's been a bright spot for a Houston team that's off to a slow start. Quite the shakeup in the world of basketball. Kentucky coach John Calipari reportedly moving on, and it said that he will be the newest head coach in Arkansas. Calipari has been the coach of Kentucky since 2009, where he won a championship, been to 4 Final Fours, and was the SEC Coach of the Year 4 times this past season. His Wildcats were ousted in the first round. And while those teams figure out their coaching futures tonight, the final game of the year, the championship game between Purdue and UConn, it's a battle of 2 #1 seeds. That game will be at 8:20 p.m. in Glendale, Arizona. Zach Edey came back to college for games like this. The Masters begin on Thursday, but Tiger Woods getting a practice round in. According to odds makers, Tiger Woods is a long shot. He's plus 10,000. Him and Mickelson share those same long odds to win the tournament as Tiger's chase for history continues. That is it for your sports. Don, back to you.
All right, Zach, thank you. We're back in a moment. The cherry blossoms are in bloom in Tokyo, and they're drawing crowds. Crowds have flocked to Tokyo's cherry blossom viewing spot. The cherry blossoms, known as sakura in Japanese, are the nation's favorite flower. People often have sakura viewing parties underneath the falling petals, where there are also picnics and sake drinking. The trees usually are at peak bloom in late March to early April. At the same time, the country begins a new school and business year. Every year, huge crowds gather, especially after dark, when the cherry blossoms are lit by lanterns. I bet that would be a nice look.
Oh,
cherry
yeah.
blossoms and lanterns at night.
Well, it's beautiful, and it's everywhere, you know, it looks like. I mean, that's the trick, though. You fertilize them with sake, apparently.
Ah, okay, I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
Well,
I would too.
Now let's look ahead to Tuesday.
Yes, well,
And
tomorrow, Tuesday, going to be very interesting. I'm calling it an alert day. What does that mean? All of you are going to be banged around by some strong thunderstorms Tuesday night, okay, after sundown, into Wednesday morning. So most of the day will be okay. But I just want you to know we're looking at thunder and lightning, possibly heavy rain, possibly hail. That's the big concern. And then the good news is that by Wednesday morning, it all blows away. After that, we've got a pretty nice, very summer-like week, staying in the mid-80s.
All right. Well, we need the rain, but not other,
That's always the problem. A rose is a rose, and it has lovely, but it's got thorns.
or cherry blossom.
Or cherry blossom.
Thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you tonight for 25 News Now at 10. Have a good one, everybody.